You have a question that's as involved as this, and there's not really any difficult math in it, there's just a lot of steps, okay? We want to isolate the three parts so that we can look at what we have piecemeal before we put it back together, right? So in part one, the elephants walk for 1.1 hours, which I'm going to convert to seconds right off the bat, okay? Because my velocities are in meters per second here. I want everything to be in meters and seconds, right? Just that way everything is standardized. All right, so 3,600 times 1.1 is what, 3960? Yeah. Okay, and then we know that they walk at a velocity of 3.0 meters per second north, and that's all we know for part one. Okay, in part two, they walk 7 kilometers, which I'm going to convert to meters right away, and that is south. 7,000 meters south, and they do that in 1.5 hours. Okay, so 3,600 plus 1,800, 5,200, right? 400, 5,400. Okay, see, I shouldn't do stuff in my head. See, I told you I'm bad at math, and I just proved it there. Okay, 5,400 seconds. Okay, and then part three. They walk at 4.5 meters per second north. And they do that for 2 hours, which is 7,200 seconds. Okay, so that's all the stuff we know. If I want to find the velocity, average velocity, over the whole trip, I need what two things? Okay, let's look at the formula here. What two things do I need? Right, I need the total displacement, and I need the total time. Okay, well, I don't have the displacement for part one, but since I have v and t, I can find it, right? So that's what the next step is go through and make sure we have d and t for all three parts. Then we can add them all together, right? We also have to have d for all three parts because one of the other things they ask for is the overall distance traveled, okay? All right, so for this one here, I've got to calculate d, so that's v times t, all right? So 3960 times 3, okay, is going to be 11,880 meters. And that's going to be north, okay, because that's the direction I was walking in, or the elephants were walking in. I already have D and T for part 2, so I don't need to do anything there. But I don't have D for part 3, so I've got to do the same thing here and go V times T. So 4.5 times 7,200 will give me the displacement in that part. So 4.5 times 7,200. Okay, it's 32,400 meters, and that's going to be north as well. Okay. How do I get the total distance traveled? Right? Add all the distances. That's the key word. Does north and south matter if I'm calculating distance? It does not. So all I do is take my 11,088 plus 7,000 plus 32,400, and our total distance is 51,280 meters. Okay, because distance is scalar, and it doesn't matter that they've gone forward and backward. Okay, does it matter that they've gone forward and backward to calculate average velocity? It does. I need total displacement over total time. Right, so I've got north and south. Mathematically, I have to represent that somehow. How am I going to represent that they're opposite mathematically? Mathematically, opposites would be positive and negative. So I'm going to make north positive, I'm going to make south negative. All right. So I'll have 11,880, okay, minus or plus negative, whichever, okay, 7,000. and then the 32,400 is north, so that's positive. All right, so there's my total displacement, 37,280 meters north. Okay, now I'm going to divide that by the total time. Okay, so for the first one, it was 3960, okay, plus 5,400, plus 7,200. All right, so there's my total time, and that means that my average velocity for the elephants is 2.25 meters per second north. Okay, so all we did there was add all the displacements together and all the times together and then divide them. Okay, is that making sense? That's how you do any multi-part question, right? You're probably going to do a number of v equals d over t calculations in order to get everything that you need, all the distances and all the times. And then you can act on them all together and do the total. Okay? That would be as hard as a v equals d over t problem would get. Okay? And it's not that any v equals d over t problem can be harder than another mathematically. It's just v equals d over t. It's just remembering, what do I have to do with all those extra numbers? Leah, question? Okay, how I got the displacement? Okay, so to get the total displacement for the whole trip, that's what you mean, right? Okay, so I went 11,880 meters north. Okay, so I made that positive. Okay, and then I subtracted the 7,000 south that I went in the second part, and then I added this north. So I made north positive and I made south negative, because I went this way, and then I backed up a little ways, and then I kept going this way again, right? So I ended up way over here, right? Because I went forward, then I went backward, and then I went forward again. Yeah? But I didn't go all the way back, right? I went 11.88 kilometers, and then I backed up 7 kilometers, and then I went forward 32.4 kilometers. Yeah? Any other questions on that one? Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you just a sheet here that's going to have you just kind of practice your v equals d over t stuff. It starts out pretty easy, like a question like this one, okay, and then it gets a little bit harder near the end. Okay, so we just got to kind of practice up our algebra skills a little. This question used to be a vector question, and I changed it, and then I forgot to change some of the wording. Okay, so this shouldn't say velocity, it should say speed, and this should say speed, and this shouldn't be there. And this should say speed. Because there's no way for you to calculate velocity from that question because it didn't give you any direction. I deleted them. So that's why I think that one's been confusing people. Okay, it's my fault I didn't word it properly. Okay, guys, so what question number is that? Number 7. So the question with Saeed Awaita, okay, the guy who set the world record in the 1500, it's actually even faster now. This is 3 minutes, 29.46 seconds, all right? So you need to get that into seconds, okay? Convert the whole thing to seconds. How many seconds in a minute? 60. So 3 minutes would be 180 seconds plus your 29.46 seconds, right? So 180, the 3 minutes plus 29.46 gives you the total number of seconds, okay?